Hi, my name is Aaron Linsdau. I am a polar explorer and motivational speaker. Today we're going to talk about how to give a powerful boost to your day. How do you give a powerful boost to your day? Actually, that's a great thought because in order to power yourself up, you actually have to power others up. What? What does that mean? Yeah, so let me tell you a little story. I was out jogging. I was jogging along the highway here, the 101 in Oregon, just booking along. Well, more like kind of dragging my butt along, but whatever. I'll say I was booking along, and up ahead of me, there's this gentleman and lady and a couple of boys, and they're getting across the street, and I'm going along, and it's raining, and I'm like, I look like a wet dog, just kind of dragging through. And as I pass the couple, I smile and nod, and the guy looks at me. He's like, "Go for it, baby, you're almost there." Dude, total stranger tells me, encourages me, even though I'm wet and I'm dripping, like, "Man, you can do it. I know you're there." Of course, I'm only like halfway through my run. It wasn't that far, like 40 minutes. So not a big deal. And by the way, when I say far in 40 minutes, it seems like people in the West and on the West Coast, we measure stuff in time, not in actual mileage. I don't even have a clue how many miles I ran, maybe 3.5, 4. I mean, nothing. It's no big deal, at least to me. But, for this guy that was walking his wife and his 2 boys, is like, man, that guy's out there. I'm just going to give him a boost. And maybe it's just because I nodded and smiled, kind of got out of their way, because they're helping their 2 boys across the street. And they were telling them, okay, look left, look right. They were teaching them properly how not to get run over, because the streets here are pretty crazy. And he saw me I hopped off the sidewalk so I could jog and get out of their way so they could do their thing. And the guy's like, "Yeah, you got it." See, that gave me such a boost. It was huge compared to, I get a little bit of boost whenever, if I ever do it. You could put the earbuds on and rock out, Eye of the Tiger or whatever music you use to listen to boost you up during a workout. Ooh, let me put these up. Don't want to strain my earbuds. They're getting old. But over time, a couple things happen to me for this boost that I get. It's initially good, but it actually gets me running too fast, and then I flame out. 2, I've got the earbuds in, it's wet, I start to jangle it around, then it's rainy, and then I'm getting my phone wet, and this is not a waterproof whatever new phone, so I don't exactly want to kill my phone. So the music kind of gives me a boost, but not totally. But the completely opposite way of, instead of internalizing and shutting out the world here, shutting out the world, that actually long term, I would say, doesn't give you a boost. To get the best boost is to give a boost to someone else. And even though you might not think, what's a big deal, it can make all of the difference in the world. That boost is sometimes what can get somebody through their day. Maybe they're having an incredibly challenging time. Maybe I just stumbled and tweaked my knee. Who knows? Or I actually do this a lot with runners. More men than women, actually. And look like sing by, "Hey, ladies." No. Instead, whenever I say a guy, we're like, "Dude, you got this. You were awesome." And I almost always get the peace sign or a wave or something, or hey, just like, "Wow, dude, thank you so much for acknowledging me." Now, does it really matter when you've got a runner out there and they're cruising along or riding their bike, or somebody is dressed up really sharp? Does it really matter to them? And you might say, "I don't think so." You might be surprised. I've done this with men several times where guys like we don't really wear 3-piece suits in the West, but sharp tie, haircut, looks great, he's all buttoned up, walking along. I say, "Man, you look sharp, you are great looking." And guys look at me like, "Oh, that's kind of weird." but then they nod and smile like, thanks, bro. Just that little thing can make all the difference. And so a sad story, I remember, and you'll get the idea here, I remember one of my buddies works as an assistant district attorney in Southern California. And part of the training is you got to go in and check out some dead bodies and autopsies. Yeah, I know. So if you aren't ready to look at dead bodies and autopsies, you definitely aren't going to cut it as a DA. So he told me, like, look, we went in, we had to check out this poor guy, and fortunately it was a suicide. It wasn't like a massacre, murder, I don't know. He took some pills and sadly killed himself. And I remember my buddy, I can't use his name, I know, but my buddy went in, he checked that out, and a couple people had to walk out because they were feeling kind of green, but he toughed it out, and he said he went through that whole thing. And I remember getting a text from him that night saying, that was a really profound experience because I had no idea why this guy killed himself, why he was, I know he was dead in front of me because he poisoned himself with pills or whatever he did. But we went on to this long discussion of you never know what sort of cliff somebody's standing on. You have no clue. We were just watching this TV show where this guy is, it's like super sad. It's another story of television, fictional, but the same sort of idea of this man and woman. It looks like having a great life. She's starting a restaurant. The man's doing filming and videoing like this. He does commercials. Like, man, he's living the life, living the dream. Nope. The opening scene to introduce this character, he's got the TV on. He's got this huge bottle of pills. Who knows what they are, but I guess it doesn't matter. And he opens that thing up and just, slugs those things in his mouth. And he gets a glass of water, and his phone's been ringing like 3 or 4 times. Like, what the? So he's just about to slug that water and knock those pills down, and finally he just answers the phone. What he heard on the phone made him spit all of those pills out into the sink and drop the glass. His friend had just committed suicide. Whoa. See, his friend had just committed suicide. Something went wrong in his life, and of course the show's going on to tease you into what that is. And this dude almost committed suicide. And you're like, man, why? You got a beautiful wife, a wonderful life, everything's great. Apparently it wasn't. So, are you going to save somebody from suicide and death by giving them, a fist pump and cheering them on? No, probably not. I'm not a professional psychologist or suicide counselor, but and that's not the whole objective here. But what the whole idea here is that to give yourself an awesome boost is when you give a boost to somebody else, you're actually sharing your energy and love with other people, and that in turn lifts them up. Now there have been a lot of movies about paying it forward. I can't remember the title of the movie, but anyway, where you help somebody else out without the expectation of it coming back to you. Now we're coming into the Christmas season, right? And people are like, oh, well, you shouldn't give and expect to receive, right? Yeah, absolutely. You should give freely of your heart because you want to do that, and that's the only reason. And if you get nothing in return, you cannot feel jilted, you cannot feel upset, like, oh, I got them a card, oh, I got them a gift, and I didn't get anything in return. You can't operate like that. That makes you miserable. I don't want you to operate like, oh, how come I didn't get anything? No. The most valuable and enjoyable experiences I've had are the ones where I go out, volunteer, and share my energy, my passion, my thoughts, and my experiences with other people. Now, suffice it to be said, I still had to put bread on the table. That's why partly I do these videos. Please support me on Venmo, PayPal, Patreon, those sort of things. But also, as a motivational speaker, I go to companies. I do have to charge a fee. I mean, if I had enough money, I earned enough money where I could totally retire, and somebody invited me, especially for Boy Scouts, I just would totally do it. because they usually don't have a lot of money to spend. Some councils I've spoken to were able to pay me a handsome wage, and others, hey, we don't have a lot of money, but would you still be willing to volunteer your time and we can pay you a little something or just travel you here? Totally, yes. So just by giving, you can give yourself the most incredible, awesome boost. So when you see that person walking by and of course, now everybody is all bleeping, oh, he raped me. It's like, hey, you're looking great. Keep it up. You're running fine. Do whatever. And if you don't feel comfortable, that's fine. But just think about when you see somebody going by and they're riding or they're jogging or, maybe they're a little bit overweight. I saw this lady walking down the street and she was pretty overweight, but she was out there with her earbuds, just hoofing along, trying to work it off. And I looked at her and yelled, you're doing great. You look excellent. And she had like this dour look. And all of a sudden she looked up and smiled, and I noticed that she continued on. She had like this massive cheeseburger smile just by cheering her on and letting her know that, you're doing great, you're spectacular. I know it's kind of tough, but you can do it. It'll make the difference in their life, and in the same respect, it'll make a huge difference in your life. And that's how you can give yourself an incredible boost, is by boosting someone else. My name is Aaron Linsdau. I'm a polar explorer and motivational speaker. Please like and comment on the video, subscribe to the channel. Please support me on Venmo, PayPal, and Patreon. That helps keep things going.